Afternoon and welcome to this edition of the sports analysis. This Saturday edition and happens to be the last for this week. And we have several things to discuss today as we put you to light to whatever that's happening in the world of sports. Several things that are taking center stage today. And remember, tomorrow we have the D-Day, the last day, probably the last race for Formula One in Abu Dhabi. That's where Max Verstappen will be finding his fate alongside Lewis Hamilton. And I should actually better put it Sir Lewis Hamilton, because that's how he has actually been named. So they will be battling tomorrow. And today will be the practices in the heat sessions that will lead to that moment. I'll be requesting my producer to put a little bit of that a little later on. But you're most welcome. And in case you'll have to follow this, you can visit our social media platforms, including you can actually go to YouTube. You can like, not only just liking, you can subscribe to that channel as you keep following. And on Facebook as well, you can like it and you keep as well following us on Whiste Time TV. Now let's go straight to what's happening in Abu Dhabi. That's where the last race for this season's Formula One will actually take center stage. Now it is a very, very interesting race that we are going to be having tomorrow. But the most important thing that it has the faces of just two drivers that you're going to be seeing. One is Lewis Hamilton, who has actually been the record champion. And almost everyone seems to agree that he is the man to beat because he has had the experience. And coming to this, one other driver who actually wants to win at all cost is Max Verstappen. He wants to follow suit in what happened in between Nico Rosberg. Remember, way back in 2018, Nico Rosberg actually beat Lewis Hamilton, who was his teammate. But right now we're asking who is going to win this season's Formula One. Remember, if you've tried to follow the standings in the Formula One, Max Verstappen, just like Lewis Hamilton, they have 369.5. That is in terms of the points. But one other key thing is that Max Verstappen has 9 wins, and then followed by Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes. He has 8 wins to his name. So in the podium wins, we'll have 17 for Max Verstappen, then 16 for Lewis Hamilton. Now, the others who follow are the likes of Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas is also with Mercedes. Remember, he's going to be replaced anytime soon. After this will be his last race, and George Russell will be replacing him. But he has 218 points. He's at number 3. Then we have Perez of Red Bull, who has 190. He has only just had one single win. And, of course, he had 7 from the podiums. And then Clark of Ferrari has just 158. And on the other side, he has never won any race, but only on the podiums he has been given one. So I'll request my producer to replay for you how fierce this battle has actually been. These two have had a history, especially when this season began. Nobody would actually think that any other person could come close to Lewis Hamilton. Ricardo Rosberg did it way back, so we're asking, do you think this is the right moment for any other person to do it? But we see so much potential from Red Bull's Max Verstappen. This has been one of the most outstanding seasons because from the word go, the challenge has always been there. There has always been a very, very big challenge when you talk about the Formula One this season. In other points, I remember when the difference was about 9 points. Even it had gone to 11 when Max Verstappen was leading. But along the way, he kept on losing points, and on the other side, Lewis Hamilton was winning. One key factor in this, he has actually been saying he thinks that he has been targeted, especially when it gets to the issues of Formula One. All other people have not been given penalties, but when it gets to Max Verstappen, he has always alleged that it seems he's being targeted, which is not a good thing in his opinion. I remember the pre-race conference that they had yesterday. He clearly put that he thinks he's being targeted. And one interesting thing that the Formula One always want to have the two drivers who are competing. They have the press conference together, and that has been one of the most beautiful things that I've actually been seeing this time around. And the battle, just like I said, is going to be very, very tense. And today we've been having heat sessions even as we speak. But from tomorrow, that's when around 2, that's when we are going to be seeing who is going to be crowned the champions of this year, 2021, in when you get to the other bit of Formula One. A very, very tight, close and tight race to call. But who is going to win is what we're keeping our fingers close right here. But leaving away from that, get to know that the other games that are happening in the Barclays Premier League, sorry, I should say in the English Premier League, it has already been changed, not the Barclays as we used to know it. But in the English Premier League, there are several games that you'll be seeing. I think my producer will be able to put that. We'll have games that will be coming in. Manchester City will be playing up against Wolves. That will be the game starting at exactly 3:30. And then after, they will have several other games, including Liverpool welcoming their former captain, Steven Gerrard, as Liverpool will be playing alongside Aston Villa in one of the fierce games today. And of course, Manchester United will be playing a game against Norwich City. Those are among the top games you will be getting. And Arsenal as well will be having a date today as they play a game as well today. And someone was asking me, will Arsenal even score a goal today? I'll be wondering. But Arsenal has always been scoring, and Chelsea as well, as you can see on the screens, will be versing Leeds United. And of course, Norwich City will be welcoming Red Hot Manchester United. And Manchester City, of course, playing host to Wolves. Arsenal playing host to Southampton. And of course, those are some of the games. And others will come again for you tomorrow. Leaving that aside, getting away from the Barclays, from the Formula One, and of course, some of the fixtures, we want to take you through to some of the coaches. When you ask yourself among some of these coaches that you know, before around 2010 backwards, who are some of these top 5 or top 6 coaches that you can think of? And today, I want to put you up to date to find out who are some of these coaches that we could actually get through. We'll take a break and we get back. Who are the top 5 coaches and why should we think that they're very influential? We get back after here.
Welcome to MPG Videos and Photo Studio Koboko. We are located on Transport Road in Koboko Municipality. We cover weddings, we cover introduction ceremonies, birthdays, we do documentaries, we also cover tours. We have photo frames of very many types. We have photo boards, we have photos in clocks. We also have graphics designs like plastic IDs. We have certificates. We have drones that we also use when you call us for your service. We may be waiting and other things and many more. You can come for all your services at MPG Videos and Photo Studio Koboko. Thank you.
To either be led and shepherded by Jesus Christ.
Radio Network. He is also with the West Nile Press Association.
Viewer and welcome to the Viewpoint on West Nile Television.
On the 19th of December 1993, and was ordained a deep.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Hey, why aren't I up there?
My heart, say you love.
I've watched the Sports Club when that saga of Mbabazi.
West Nile Television is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back from the break, and as I promised you that when we get back, we'll be looking at why some of these 5 coaches actually stand out. We could mention a few of them outside the top 5, the likes of Brian Clough, who actually won the league with the Aston Villa way back, with Nottingham Forest way back. He won the UEFA Champions League, and of course the other ones that you could actually be thinking of. Now, the top 5 coaches that why we say they're most influential in the Premier League era before 2010. Several of them that you could actually think of. Now, let me bring you to light with the first one. This is my top 5, and Of course, you're free to agree or disagree, but that's how things always roll out. You will never always be able to meet everyone's expectations. But you will be shocked to find who is number one. And you will be thinking who could actually be number one, number two, number three, or number four, number five. But let's start from number five. The gentleman I've decided to pick for you is one very great coach who is called Tony Barton. He actually won the UEFA Champions League way back in 1982 with the team Aston Villa. Now, it was very interesting that in that very year, they won the UEFA Champions League. They beat Bayern Munich. You could only imagine how a coach of that stature beating Bayern Munich could actually be one of the... In fact, the game ended 1-0 way back in 1982. That's when they won the UEFA Champions League. And I can actually confirm that was the last time Aston Villa was in a very, very... in Europe, actually representing team... representing the colors of English football. And they won it in that very season at a very, very interesting moment. But when you look at that, 5 seasons later, Aston Villa was relegated. They went down to the English Championship. And the last time any manager tried to bring Aston Villa up the scale, I think, was Harry Redknapp. But when you look at things from that moment up to date, the reason why I decided to pick him is because he has done something that nobody has ever done from the period of 2010 downwards. I don't think anybody has actually ever done that. Even up to now, Aston Villa has never come close to winning the league. Remember, Aston Villa also just came to the Barclays Premier League with Dean Smith 2 seasons ago before they let him go. So up to date, the most successful manager in the history of Aston Villa remains Tony Barton, and nobody has ever taken that. Maybe the arrival of Steven Gerrard could present something for this team. He's a young manager, very ambitious. They have a game today at Anfield. They're playing team Liverpool. What is that surprise that he could actually pull? Remember, there are several other coaches who have been that, including even the likes of Harry Redknapp, including the likes of this former Whiste Time manager, that is Alan Pardew, and to mention many more others who have actually been at Aston Villa. But none of them seem to have replicated or come closer to that pedigree that has been set by Tony Barton. So I rate Tony Barton at number 5. He is a former English manager. That is Tony Barton. At number 4, the host of names you could think of, but to me, I would want to put number 4. I want to put, in my opinion, I want to put Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti, the Italian, who has actually done very, very great things. He won the La Decima with Real Madrid. He won the Champions League both as a player and as a manager with AC Milan. Came to team Chelsea. Remember at the period when Chelsea first sacked Jose Mourinho, after their things were not going down the right way. They brought in Luis Felipe Scolari. Remember, the coach that won the World Cup with the Brazil national team. They brought him. He didn't yield so much. After him, they brought Gus Hiddink, the Russian, who did not do much. Only he won the FA Cup with Chelsea. After Gus Hiddink, the manager they brought is the one on the screen. That is Carlo Ancelotti, and he won the FA Cup twice, and he won Barclays Premier League twice and FA Cup once, then plus the Carling Cup by then. That is the manager I put for you at number 5. At number 4, why should he come there? It has always been very difficult for managers who come outside the Premier League to come and challenge and win. Remember, by then we used to only have Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. You have at Chelsea, at Manchester United. You would have Sir Alex Ferguson at Liverpool. By then, you could also really think about coaches like Kenny Dalglish, and also apart from him, there was Rafa Benitez, who took them twice to the Champions League final and only won once. And unfortunately, there was against the teams AC Milan. They won the first final, the second final, they actually didn't win. So I put him at that rate because he really changed the way Chelsea was coping up with the post-Jose Mourinho era. He did not change much in terms of buying up of players, but he used his ability as a coach to make sure that the players who are there as well win the UEFA Champions League. And remember, it was the only thing Chelsea was actually waiting for. Chelsea had not won the UEFA Champions League, and that was the reason why their owner Roman Abramovich said he wanted Jose Mourinho because he had left a mark with FC Porto. After FC Porto, he came with that mentality that he was going to take Chelsea to Europe and actually, fortunately, win. Unfortunately, his reign stopped in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. Remember playing Barcelona. It had to actually end, not playing Barcelona. It actually was ended by Team Liverpool before Liverpool went to that UEFA Champions League final with the AC Milan in the, you remember 2005 year of madness in Istanbul. That's when Liverpool actually in the semi-finals they had to see off competitions from Chelsea. So I put him there, Carlo Ancelotti, because after Jose Mourinho, it was a very, very big hassle to find which manager to actually bring. Remember the likes of Avram Grant as well came into the mix, but not so much was seen from them. But when Carlo Ancelotti came, he did not go to win the Champions League with Chelsea, but he tried his best to win the trophies that every other manager that came out from Mourinho had not won. I put him at number 5. At number 4 is where it gets very, very, at number 3 is where it gets very, very interesting, probably very, very tempting. It's very, very tight because you need to put, it's either you put Arsene Wenger or you put Kenny Dalglish. Let me bring you a little bit of history about Kenny Dalglish. He was the last manager to win the Premier League for Liverpool before the Premier League actually started, before it was called the English League Cup. So when it was branded the Premier League, the last manager to win it was Kenny Dalglish. He was a former player, won it as a player. He was promoted to a coach. Then he won the Premier League with the team Liverpool. After winning with Liverpool, he left Liverpool, joined Blackburn Rovers. When he had the likes of Alan Shearer, he won the league as well. So he has won actually 6 league titles. He also won the UEFA Super Cup. He also won the European Cup. And he has had history of winning the League Cup as well, the FA Cup as well to his ranks. So if you are to rate amongst the other managers, I think he has won several others that very few managers have actually won. Kenny Dalglish is a Scottish. By the way, he has also been named Sir. And that title, Sir, doesn't just come by mistake. Anyone who comes within the UK, so long as you've done something that deserves to be honored, you are given that title. Remember, that's the same title that was given to Alex Ferguson. Now, the latest person to actually get that is the Formula 1 driver, that is Lewis Hamilton. He has been given that title, Sir Lewis Hamilton. But now, it is very, very tight to put in between, is it Arsene Wenger at number 3 or it is him at number 3? But I would like to put that. I want to put Arsene Wenger at number 3. That is how I want to put it. Arsene Wenger has done well ever since he came to the Barclays Premier League in the year 1996. By then, it was a one-horse race. Let me say it was a 3-horse race. It used to have Manchester United. It used to have Blackburn Rovers. It used to have teams like Leeds, teams like Newcastle challenging. The likes of Arsenal were not so much because Arsenal was under Bruce Rioch. It was not so very competitive, just like the Arsenal we see now. So when Arsene Wenger came in the year 1996, he changed a lot of things. He brought in the likes of Patrick Vieira, the likes of Dennis Bergkamp, the likes of Mark Overmars, the likes of the likes of Van Bronckhorst, who is now the manager at Rangers. He replaced Steven Gerrard. He brought the likes of Will Todd. He brought the likes of Ashley Cole, but several. But in his 2 seasons, I remember the most important and most influential thing that he did, winning the Premier League at Old Trafford. Very few managers do that. To go and win the Premier League at Old Trafford, that was one of the most amazing things that Arsene Wenger actually did. I give Arsene Wenger at number 3. That's where I actually put him. And of course, still looking at this, what the amazing thing Arsene Wenger did was to go in the Premier League 2003-2004 season going unbeaten. Remember, in that very season, before that season, Manchester United snatched the trophy away from Arsene Wenger when Mark Viduka's goal actually had to condemn Arsenal to a 3-2 loss in the year 2001-2002 season. And Arsenal lost the trophy to Manchester United. They were supposed to be the champion of 2001-2002 season, but they missed that. So they, actually 2002-2003 season, but 2003-2004 season is when they went unbeaten. So you would not let that go easily. And he went to the UEFA Champions League final in 2005, and 2004-05 season, which was actually a plus. So I rate Arsene Wenger at number 3 for me. It was a very, very tight call between him and Kenny Dalglish. But at number 2, that's where many people would say maybe they agree or they don't agree with me. I put Alex Ferguson at number 2. He's not number 1. He's at number 2. So why should I put Alex Ferguson at number 2? And yet he played for almost 23 seasons and won 13 Premier League titles. He won 2 UEFA Champions League finals. He went to 3 of them, lost 1 to Barcelona, and of course won that one that he won against Bayern Munich. The second one he won against Chelsea, and he won a series of FA Cups, not so many of them, at least about 6 of them. And he also went very well to win the Carling Cup, which was also as well a plus. So I rate Sir Alex Ferguson at number 2. To say that I rate him at number 2, not because in terms of success, in terms of pedigree, probably someone would think Sir Alex Ferguson deserves to be number 1. But he has won a lot. But by the time he was winning, the race was only between Arsenal and Manchester United. You remember by then, most people, you will not easily get Manchester City fans. By then, you would hardly see Chelsea fans. You would hardly see, probably only get Liverpool fans, Man U fans, and Arsenal fans. Those are the 3 teams by then that you could easily think of. But the teams that would compete, you only have Arsenal and Manchester United. That was how the syndrome was by then. And then you look at a couple of other teams that were, by now you would see them. Tottenham Hotspurs. You look at the likes of Blackburn Rovers. By then they were not very competitive. Nottingham Forest had already been relegated. Aston Villa was nowhere coming close to winning the league. You find teams like Newcastle United were not so much. They had the likes of Alan Shearer, but not so much were coming in. They were under Alan Pardew by then. But you not see so much from them. The likes of Bolton Wanderers, not so very competitive, but the race was just between Manchester United and Team Arsenal. That was how it was. So Arsene, in terms of the pedigree, Sir Alex Ferguson is the most successful manager, if you could think along, in the English Premier League. And of course, right now Liverpool has decided to equal it. They had surpassed Liverpool, and Liverpool were the record champions of the English League. But Sir Alex Ferguson had to stick to Manchester United. Why? Because Liverpool were mocking him, come when you're already 18. I don't know if you still remember what that means, come when you're already 18. By then, Liverpool had actually won 18 league titles. Manchester United was still very far. So Alex Ferguson was being mocked. He should try to boast around by saying he's one of the best managers, only if he had equalized that record of Liverpool of being on 18. Remember, by the time he left, when he bought Robin van Persie from Arsenal to Manchester United, he actually had to win the 19th title when he appointed David Moyes to come and take over. That was the beginning of the end for Manchester United trying to compete to win the league. So by then, that was how the situation is. But not so much was seen because it looked to be a 2-horse race. Now, the manager I rate at number 1, with all due respect, is Jose Mourinho. I rate Jose Mourinho at number 1. The manager who changed the face of the Barclays Premier League or the English Premier League right now, the English League, has been Jose Mourinho. And I have so many reasons to tell you that it was that man on the screen who changed a lot when he came in the 2004, in the 2003-2004 season. As Arsenal was being crowned unbeaten, that gentleman actually came from FC Porto. When Claudio Ranieri was sacked from Chelsea, they brought in Jose Mourinho to complete the season. Now, you can see that gesture. When he came, he called himself the special one. And then after, in the following season, he called himself the happy one. And in his reign, he made several changes in the Barclays Premier League. Just in the second season and back-to-back, he won the Barclays Premier League by then. He brought in the likes of Peter Cech. After Peter Cech, he brought the likes of William Gallas, the likes of Ashley Cole, the likes of William Cavallo, the likes of Gary Cahill, the likes of Carlo Ancelotti. Had to let him go to team Tottenham Hotspurs. He brought in Claude Makelele from Chelsea. He brought in Didier Drogba from Olympique Marseille. After that, he used the likes of Damian Duff, the likes of Joe Cole, the likes of there was a Thiago Motta who retired at there was a Thiago Mendes, who retired at Atletico Madrid. Thiago Motta was at AS Roma, and of course he had the money. Abramovich asked him, "Do you want Ronaldinho?" He told him, "No, I want Didier Drogba instead." And I think that's the manager who made the best. And ever since he even came back, he still left his mark at Chelsea, won the Barclays Premier League before he was sacked and joined Manchester United. So the manager who made a Premier League much more very competitive, who added that flavor, who put the icing on the cake in the Premier League, who actually started to make every team get to wonder, was Jose Mourinho. And one clear thing is that most of the managers who won the league with Chelsea, majority of them, if not all, used players that were assembled by Jose Mourinho. You will not convince me that none of these managers did not use, except the likes of Antonio Conte or Thomas Tuchel, or the one we have now, that is the one who was before us, Thomas Tuchel, that is Frank Lampard. Majority of them actually used the players who were under Jose Mourinho. The likes of Peter Cech, the likes of Didier Drogba, the likes of course, Fernando Torres came after he had left. But this is the manager who added the flavor, the manager who made the league to be one of the most competitive leagues. And Chelsea became the pride of London. Something that Arsenal fans do not want to agree with, because they feel that Arsenal winning 13 league titles, they should be the pride of London. But that's not how it is. Chelsea fans actually had to brand that they are the pride of London. And indeed, they went to the Champions League final twice. In fact, thrice. The first one, they lost to Manchester United. The second one, they won against Bayern Munich in Munich. The third one, they won against Manchester City in an all-English affair. That is how it actually gets through. You can actually put your comment on our YouTube channel. Remember, we're actually streaming. You can as well go and put in who you think should be in your top 5, as we can be able to come back again next time and see how we can analyze. And next time we shall be looking at, from the era of 2010 to now, who are the most influential managers in the Barclays, in the English Premier League. We'll take a break, and when we get back, we will be finding some of the stories in the transfers. Will Paul Pogba stay at Manchester United? That's what we will be up against. And remember, you can as well do business with us. You come to Weatherhead Park Lane, or you call the number running at the bottom of your screen. And for all the tips, kindly visit B Tips, as you should be able to get all the tips that you need to win. And remember, there are a host of games tonight in the Barclays Premier League and in the leagues across Europe. We get back after this break.
West Nile TV. May you dare ingamwa.
To either be led and shepherded by Jesus Christ.
Radio Network. He is also with the West Nile Press Association.
Viewer, and welcome to the Viewpoint on Whiste Time Television.
On the 19th of December 1993, and was ordained a deep.
That is absolutely fantastic.
Hey, why aren't I up there?
My heart, say you love.
I've watched the Sports Club when that saga of Mbabazi.
West Nile Television is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome to MPG Videos and Photo Studio Koboko. We are located on Transport Road in Koboko Municipality. We cover weddings, we cover introduction ceremonies, birthdays, we do documentaries. We also cover tours. We have photo frames of very many types. We have photo boards. We have photos in clocks. We also have graphics designs like plastic IDs. We have certificates. We have drones that we also use when you call us for your service. We may be waiting and other things and many more. You can come for all your services at MPG Videos and Photo Studio Koboko. Thank you.
Welcome back from the break, and just like we went in, I was posing this question: will Paul Pogba stay at Manchester United? That's a very, very interesting one, as my producer will put that. The most important thing is that right now Ralf Rangnick is the head coach at Manchester United, though for just a short term, but he seemed not to be a fan of Paul Pogba, as he stated very clearly that he may not be actually wanting to have convincing Paul Pogba to stay. So it has always been drawing a lot of criticism and a lot of questions. People have been asking, is it his time now to leave Manchester United? Because the type of players right now that Ralf Rangnick is targeting, he's just looking at players who can suit his style of play, and he will be looking at them possibly as a target for January. And one of them, I can confirm to you, is Calvin Phillips of Leeds United. My producer will be able to show that for you, that clip of Calvin Phillips for you. He's a very, very good player. Remember, he played alongside Declan Rice of West Ham. They partnered together with the English national team when they played in the Euros. Remember, they lost in the finals to Italy. So Calvin Phillips is one of those that Ralf Rangnick is actually looking at. That means they're literally preparing for life without Paul Pogba. Look at the United players in the midfield that they have. They have the likes of Donny van de Beek. They have Nemanja Matic. They have Scott McTominay. They have Fred. Four players already in that position now. And of course, Paul Pogba. Now there are 5 of them in that position. Now, I know Ralf Rangnick being a type of a coach that he wants to have the young blood. He works so well with very young players that he feels can impact on his style of play, how he wants his team to actually function. So Calvin Phillips will actually be, if United will choose to go with the 4-3-3, but I know with the 4-2-3-1, I know Ralf Rangnick for not being a very rigid manager from his days. He loves to always make the best out of players. The likes of the Naby Keitas, the Sadio Manes who played under him at Red Bull. And of course, that is the player we're talking about, Calvin Phillips. He's a very, very good holding midfielder. So when you're looking at players like Paul Pogba, he's not a bad player, but the problem with Paul Pogba has always been consistency. And that complacency as well come into play. Paul Pogba thinking he is the best player now. He is the player that the world is focusing on. But at the end of the day, his consistency. The first game Paul Pogba played against Leeds United, Manchester United scored 5 goals and he had 6, in fact 4 assists in a single game, which was a plus. And if Paul Pogba would continue with that, that would be a very, very good thing. Another player that Manchester United is targeting, I should be precise, that is Ralf Rangnick is targeting, is Jude Bellingham of Borussia Dortmund. That is another player that he's actually targeting. Jude Bellingham, that's the player, has been one of the most outstanding players. I mean, he played in that midfield alongside Jadon Sancho when they were still there. He's one of those type of players that I see in the modern days. Back in the days, we will not have players who play holding role or box-to-box role in the modern way like we see now, the current crop of players. If you can see the likes of Calvin Phillips, the likes of Declan Rice, the likes of this other player you're seeing on the pitch, that is Jude Bellingham, you clearly see that they make a very, very big difference with the type of English midfielders that we used to have those days. The likes of Scott Parker, you see the likes of Frank Lampard, the likes of Steven Gerrard, There was the likes of this other Manchester United player who played for long at Borussia Dortmund, at Bayern Munich, then came to Manchester United. That's Owen Hargreaves. He retired at Manchester City because of recurring injuries. So you don't see those type of players now. But the current crop of players that the English team have now, I think they are beginning to produce what Spain actually had for a very long time in that generation, the transition that they used to have from the likes of Pep Guardiola, the likes of Luis Enrique, the likes of Xavi, the Iniestas, the Sergio Busquets that you see. You see all these things, these players are coming in now. Another player is another one who is coming in from Mali. He's called Daira. That's another player that Ralph Rangnick is targeting. So what does that give you as an idea? Will that make you be convinced that Ralph Rangnick is actually going to let Paul Pogba stay at United? I don't think so, because if United can get 3 of those, I think they will be good to go. Daira is a Malian international, and he plays for RB Leipzig. That is the player that Ralph Rangnick thinks should come in to team Manchester United. So the stakes are actually very, very high that Paul Pogba may unlikely be at United even for this season, but for the next season coming. But I will keep it close. Maybe the next coach coming after. Remember, Rangnick is just here to stay for 6 months, and after he might actually stay in an advisory role or as a consultant. Maybe the next coach coming. Could it be Pep? Not Pep, because I'm quite sure he said the last team he will manage at in the Premier League would be Manchester City. But you never know, anything can happen. Jose Mourinho once said he will never coach Tottenham Hotspurs. He found himself at Spurs, so anything can happen. But on the other side, we'll try to connect the dots. Will it be his last season? That is what we are yet keeping our fingers crossed to see whether he will stay at this team or not. But on the other side, as well, another player that might leave United because Madrid are monitoring his situation is Cristiano Ronaldo. They want really to have him at all costs. That is Carlo Ancelotti. Remember, Cristiano Ronaldo helped Carlo Ancelotti win La Decima way back when they played against Atletico Madrid in the All Madrid European affair. That's when in around 2013, 2014, actually 11, 12. That's when they actually won the 10th Champions League, which they call La Decima. So it was Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo that helped them actually win the La Decima way back. So Carlo Ancelotti would feel so much to work with Cristiano Ronaldo, because the likes of Luka Modric are still there. You also have the likes of Karim Benzema are still in that team. So they will actually make a very, very good team right there. And that is how it stands for now. But it's all subject to Manchester United, because I'm quite sure the reason why Rangnick doesn't want to have the all AG players is because the Cristiano Ronaldos now are not good enough for the high pressing game that Rangnick actually believes in. Ronaldo will not run for you like the Ronaldo at 17, Ronaldo at 23, 24. He will not actually do that. He left for Real Madrid when he was at Manchester United, but will he leave again when he's 36 and he's at Manchester United? That's all I had for you for today. And of course, keep watching Whiste Time TV. And by the way, if you want to do business, this is the time for you. And the offer still stands. It's very, very affordable. And you can call the number running at the bottom of your screen, or come to Weatherhead Park Lane as you come and do a business with us. And for those of you who want to make money, B Tips is right here for you to give you all the betting tips that you actually want to get. I wish a quick recovery to Owen to get back soon, as everything here happens for a reason. But we know that you always have to keep strong as you get back on your feet. Keep watching Whiste Time on West Nile TV as we meet again next time.
West Nile TV. May you dare in